Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. So I'm going to do something just a little bit different today with this video. And I'm going to address this stuff with the Georgia Guidestones being blown up. If you have never heard of the Georgia Guidestones, then let's go through a little bit of that here. So the Georgia Guidestones were erected in 1980 by some group of people that have remained anonymous. The person that contracted the Georgia Guidestones went by the moniker of R.C. Christian, which some people have tied to the Rosicrucian order, which is allegedly this secretive organization. So, full disclosure here, back in the 1980s, not in 1980, but I was a member of the Rosicrucian order. There are apparently more than one Rosicrucian orders, but the one that has the most attention is the AMORC, American Order Rosicrucia, meaning Rosy Cross. The cross in the Rosicrucian order is not a religious symbol. It is philosophic, referring to the duality of human existence, physical and spiritual. You can be a member of any religion or no religion and become a member of the Rosicrucians. They rely heavily on ritual, but this is in an intellectual capacity, and they send out monographs every month. So in one of the very first monographs that they send you, they explain that this is about meditating on the subject of each monograph, and they go into the philosophic and intellectual value of ritual and meditation and so forth. Anyway, they don't have any kind of agenda, really. This is, there's no bar to joining. It will cost you money, but that's it. It's not all this big secretive conspiracy garbage that people think it is. If you actually apply on their website, you can join today. As long as you pay the money, you can join. That's it. So they use a lot of symbolism. That's it. Anyway, so all of this is garbage. The content of the Georgia Guidestones. Let's go right to that, okay? All right, so here is what is inscribed on this, and it is the same stuff is put in multiple languages, including German and Russian and Swahili and English, and I don't remember what else. All right, so here's what it says. Some of this I actually agree with, and some of it is just insane. Maintain humanity under 500 million people in balance with nature. 500 million, we're at 7.9 billion. But there's nothing about actually trying to get there. All right, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Okay, now that one Yeah, that one not so much. I mean, this is like promoting eugenics. All right, unite humanity with a living new language. This is something that actually makes sense. If we all had one common language, we could all communicate with each other and stop having that kind of separation between us. We'd be able to understand each other. All right, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Okay, what's wrong with that? Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Okay. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. I'm going to come back to that. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties. That makes complete sense. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Great. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Okay, so I'm really not seeing a whole lot of problems with most of this. In some ways, some of this kind of sounds like different people added different stuff in there. But I find the whole thing to be silly. Not for what's on the Guidestones so much as the overblown reaction to it. There is a lot of discussion from some people that think that this is pushing for one world government. Well, okay, let's go back to that and read this again. Okay, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. That makes complete sense. We've got the United Nations, we've got the International Criminal Court. You know, if we don't resolve our disputes in a court, then what do we wind up with? We wind up with wars to resolve our disputes. So how is this evil? Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Again, where is the problem with this? Now, there have been right-wingers that have said that this is satanic. How is it satanic? This is talking about protecting people and resolving disputes via courts. Meaning courts were a thing in the Bible. So how is this satanic? Hey, none of that. Anyway, so let me go back to something else on here. All right, so where is it? Heck, I lost that inscription. Oh, okay. Sponsors a small group of Americans. I forget what it says, but yeah, who want to lead into an age of reason. And it refers to a time capsule placed 6 feet below this spot to be opened on, and then there's no date, which is included. It has astronomic features. You know, let these be guidestones to an age of reason. All right, how is any of this a problem? Now, again, there's no indication of any member of any group here that was trying to you know, lead us into depopulating the earth. You know, it talks about keeping humanity under 500 million people. That does tend to ask the question that if we wound up through wars or disease or whatever, if we wound up with under 500 million people, okay, how are we going to maintain that number? And that isn't quite laid out there, is it? If you're going to limit the population, that means you're eliminating part of the population. But again, there's no indication that anybody involved in this has any form of power. They paid to build it. They bought the land that it sits on, and then they donated the whole thing to the county in which it stands. So it got blown up the other day. It is highly suspicious that it got blown up, and then instead of a thorough investigation, the entire site was cleared within 12 hours later. I would think that you would want to do a thorough forensic examination and try to figure out who blew it up. It's been called a terrorist attack. No, what terror? There was nobody there at the time. There were closed circuit television cameras. So why are they unable to identify who did this? You can find images of the actual explosion, but leading up to that, somebody planting the explosives, there was obviously a truck that was involved. Okay, what about the license plates on the truck, etc., etc. Then they claim, at least, that when they dug down 6 feet to find the time capsule, they say they did not find one. How much truth is there? Who knows? I haven't heard anything from the company that erected the stones, who would obviously be the most likely to know if there was a time capsule there, because they probably would have placed it for the person that contracted them. So there's no indication that there was actually a time capsule. And if you were going to find a time capsule, though, the only way you're going to get to it is by destroying the Guidestones themselves. So again, all of this is just silly. It's ridiculous. You've got some monument built by some secretive group of people that had too much money on their hands. You know, no clear agenda involved here. Some people claim that this is Marxist. There is nothing in Marxism which concurs with any of this. You know, so it's not Marxist. It's not Satanist. You know, so you've got this monument that it was built in 1980 on a farm in a backwoods county in Georgia. And now it's been destroyed, and there's all of these conspiracy theorists that are all going all up in arms about it. This is nothing. You know, some people are claiming, oh, well, they're trying to erase it. Well, really, you do a web search on the Georgia Guidestones and see how many images you find of the Georgia Guidestones. Not particularly good images for the most part, but there are lots of images. There's a Wikipedia page on it. There's lots of websites that mention it. Everything that was on there is well documented. The history of it is well documented as far as you can find. So it doesn't mean anything. This is something, if it was handed out in a pamphlet, it would be something you would read and throw in the trash because somebody put it on some stone tablets out in the backwoods. Then it's supposed to be some big thing. It's ridiculous. So share this video, talk about these subjects, or don't, because it's ridiculous. If you can, please donate whatever you can to help expand this channel and my presidential campaign, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.